This Bitcoin move is not the end of the Bitcoin bull market. Let's get into the charts. Welcome back to Max Trades Crypto. Today we're going to be going over two different scenarios on the charts and then doing trade possibilities like usual. So starting on our first 4-hour scenario on the chart, we are looking at either a 1-2 in purple. A 1, 2, and then we are looking for much higher prices on the chart, right? In this, we have a leading diagonal in a 5-wave contracting leading diagonal. Not a very, very common thing to see, but is possible. Now, we can see here that we have in a diagonal, we have a 5-wave move where we have contracting trend lines here, and wave 1 and wave 4 overlap in price. So we can see that over here we have those 5-wave structures here where wave 1 and wave 4 overlap in price. Now in this wave 1 we have a 3-wave structure, very normal. In this wave 2, 3 waves as well. Wave 3, 3 waves. Wave 4, 3 waves. And wave 5, 3 waves too. So that confirms a possible diagonal. Whether it's leading or ending is the question to be asked. But in this scenario, we're going to look at, we need a 3-wave structure down before we get a massive, massive run up again in a pink wave 3. Now, if we go on to the 1-hour scenario on this chart, we can see here that the way to get a wave A in here is have a 5-wave structure down, right? We need a 5-wave structure doing a 1 in pink, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5, right? This doesn't look very good. Even if we zoom in more into the smaller counts, we can see here that in this wave 1, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a wave 5, but this in the middle here does not look pretty, right? Very, very difficult to see this being a standard 5-wave structure. As well in here, we can't count a very deep 1, 2. Normally we look for a wave 1 like this, a wave 2 that comes a lot deeper than the 3, 4, and the wave 5. This is also very, very messy. So this is what we are looking for though in this scenario. We are looking for 5 waves down in the wave A, followed by a 3-wave structure in wave B, and then another 5 waves in wave C to complete this wave 2, and then we see much more bullish price action. Then if we go on to our main scenario on the chart currently, we can see here is on the 4-hourly time frame we have an ending diagonal. Now, an ending diagonal means that we could have an end to the bull market or possibly another 4, 5 to come, which is what I indeed think is going to happen. We're going to have quite a bit of sideways price action now on Bitcoin, and then we are going to see a wave 5 come into play, possibly targeting that $160,000, $170,000 to end off this bull market. So if we look here currently, we can see that we are then looking for a wave 4 on the charts, right? A wave 4 could be like the other scenario where we have the A, the B, and the wave C, but I've just put them on 2 different scenarios so that we can actually see the 2 different ones playing out. So we are either looking for a WXY, which I've marked over here, or an ABC. Now, if we look at just some education, we can see a few corrective structures, right? Normally we have an ABC, right? Or we have an ABC in an expanding flat, or an ABC in a running flat, right? Both very different structures, right? Now, if we see a WXY, the difference between a WXY and an ABC is a WXY and an ABC. This ABC is a 5-wave structure followed by 3 and then followed by another 5-wave structure. In a WXY, we only have a 3-wave structure in each. We don't have 5 waves. So at the moment, if we see on the chart, this doesn't, and we said earlier, this doesn't look like a 5-wave structure here. then it is possibly a WXY, where I've shown here on the chart here. So in this W moving down, we can have a three-wave structure, possibly a WXY inside the larger wave W, where we have, so if you see here, a WXY inside this W over here, followed by an X, and then followed by a Y, or the entire correction or the wave 4 could be finished at the end of this smaller WXY. Right, so we could be finishing here, we could be going higher from that area, or we could be just making another correction followed by another move towards the downside. I believe it is and will be another move towards the downside after this whole correction here. So if we look here on the 1 hour time frame, in this red wave W, we have a WXY in blue, WXY, where we have an ABC in W, remember the three-wave structures, and ABC in wave X, and now we are looking for another ABC in wave Y, right? Remember the ABCs that we spoke about, the now are going to be 5, 3, and wave 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This is what we are looking for. Now, to mark off 5 waves in this wave A is a little bit more tricky, but it is working out okay. Currently, we either have this 5-wave structure here where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and now looking for the last move down in that wave 5, right? That is what we are looking at currently, this green 5-wave structure. Followed by that, we could end around the $106,000, and then we go up in 3 waves to the B, and then a 5-wave structure down there, right, in the wave C, finishing off that Y. Now, that is our main scenario currently on the chart on the 4-hourly time frame. Then, if we are to look on the 4-hour at trend lines, the only trend lines that we are currently looking at is this one on the daily time frame, where we are possibly going to reject from over here at around $102,000 or $103,000, possibly the end of that correction in the larger WXY. Right, that's all I see on trend lines for now. Then support and resistance, we are currently touching or hovering around support. It has not yet flipped into resistance, but if we do indeed finish this move as our wave A, so we have moved down in our wave W, we come up in a wave X and then break down and possibly touch this resistance box or support box over here, that would conform with our WXY structure on the chart. If we do crash through and use this as this turns into resistance and we go lower, we would possibly be looking more at the 5-wave structure ABC towards the downside. So that is currently what I see on support at the moment, but we are currently at support. We have not yet flipped the support. You can see this area has been acted as resistance for quite a while, turned into support over here, and now we are looking for another possible upwards movement from this support area here at around $111,000 to $109,000. That would then make the move up into this support box or this resistance box over here in red. Then if we look at short-term or long-term fair value gaps on the chart first, we can see a long-term fair value gaps on the daily time frame. We still have quite a few below us. The rest have kind of been filled out. We do actually, now that I see over here, we have some over here on the chart that I somehow missed. There's another fair value gap, and we are then looking for a move down towards that area, filling out this fair value gap in the longer term time frame, right? Very, very important things to look at. Fair value gaps can help us determine the market. You can see here that we had a fair value gap on the daily time frame over here, and we used it perfectly as support right there, right? Very, very important to look at turning points at this area. You can see here we used it again over here once and then twice, right? But that is all the fair value gaps that I currently see that are important. Oh, for trading possibilities on the 4-hour time frame, trading this structure currently would be quite a hassle. It is very, very choppy. We can see very strong X waves up. And to be honest, we need more of an information on the chart, right? We don't know if this wave 4 is going to hold over here. We don't know if this is the low at wave A. But what we do know currently is that this is a choppy structure, difficult to trade, right? So if you are wanting to take a trade, I would wait for this entire A, B, and wave C towards the downside, right? If we then finish in wave 4 over here, we then can look for a long from this area here. But currently we don't actually know whether price is just going to break down completely or we're going to have a bit of a bigger run in a wave B, right? I do think at some point soon Bitcoin is going to bounce. We've been going lower and sideways for quite a little bit now. Normally we have lower and sideways, a little bit of a move, and then if we need to continue down, lower and sideways again, right? Kind of in line with our A, B, and wave C structure, right? So I would wait on the chart until the bottom of the wave W is indeed in. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want daily updates, please join the Discord channel down below. You can see here that we do daily updates. Here's actually just our Your Analysis general channel, and we do Bitcoin analysis every single day on the chart where you can get all these charts yourself. But thank you so much for watching. It's been Max Trades Crypto. Cheers, guys.